So let me pull up this article for you. So this is according to Fox 40, which is in California. Associated Press, okay? So once again, if this does manage to get posted on YouTube, this isn't me talking, okay? This isn't me talking. I'm reading the article from a mainstream media network, a local affiliate. I guess it's close enough to mainstream. So let's just go ahead and get those disclaimers out the way. All right, this says California officials urge stop to 300,000 Moderna vaccines after some fall ill. This is on January 17th. Los Angeles, Associated Press. California state epidemiologist is urging a halt to more than 300,000 COVID vaccinations using a Moderna vaccine version because some people receive medical treatment for possible severe allergic reactions. Dr. Erica S. Pan said on Sunday, Dr. Erica S. Pan on Sunday recommended providers stop using the Lot 41L220A of the Moderna vaccine pending completion of an investigation by state officials. Moderna, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, and the Federal Food and Drug Administration. Out of an extreme abundance of caution and also recognizing the extremely limited supply of vaccines, we are recommending that providers use the other available vaccine inventory, Pan said in a statement. She said more than 330,000 doses from the lot in California between January 5th and January 12th were distributed to 287 providers. Fewer than 10 people who all received the vaccine at the same community site needed medical attention over a 24-hour period. Pan said no other similar clusters were found. Pan did not specify the number of cases involved or where they occurred. However, 6 San Diego healthcare workers had allergic reactions to vaccines they received at a mass vaccination center in January 14th. This site was temporarily closed and is now using other vaccines, KTG-VTV reported. Moderna said in a statement that the company is unaware of comparable adverse events from other vaccination centers which may have administered vaccines from the same lot. The CDC has also said that COVID vaccines can cause side effects for a few days that include fever, chills, headaches, swelling, and tiredness, which are normal signs that your body is building protection. Yeah, okay. Now, this was done on January 17th. This statement was made. Once again, this isn't me. This is the state's epidemiologist was saying to chill, y'all. This particular type of vaccine, which, by the way, if these are... now I'm getting a little bit worried about the quote unquote distribution of these vaccines because is Moderna now putting out different versions of the same vaccine too? And they're saying, oh, just stop this particular strain of Moderna vaccine, but not the other ones? Because now I'm confused as to why I got different vaccines. If the vaccines work, if your Moderna quote unquote vaccine works, then it should work and that should be the end of it. I'm kind of worried about this idea that there are potentially more than one vaccine from one company, as if you're worried that, well, this one might not work as well and this one might work better, and so we'll just give them both and see how it works out. Like, it sounds like people are about to be guinea pigs. That's what it sounds like once again. So now I want you all to keep in context something. So yesterday there was a change of heart, and over the last 24 hours Joe Biden has introduced several executive orders dealing with the pandemic. Now, one of those executive orders is to restart school, like I said earlier. Another one of those executive orders is basically saying he wants to get out 100 million vaccinations in the next 90 to 100 days. So, yesterday, this came out. California public health officials say it's safe to use Moderna vaccine after illness reports. Okay, so let's see what they deem as being safe. California on Wednesday said it's safe to resume using the batch of Moderna coronavirus vaccine after some people fell ill and a halt to injections was recommended. The decision frees up more than 300,000 doses to counties, cities, and hospitals struggling to obtain supplies. The State Department of Public Health on Sunday urged a pause in the use of a specific lot after fewer than 10 people who received shots at a San Diego vaccination site needed medical care, possibly due to rare but severe allergic reactions. But after a safety review in consultation with Moderna and local and federal health agencies, The state found no scientific basis to continue the pause and said vaccinations can immediately resume, state epidemiologist Erica Pan said in a statement. What does that even mean, bro? What does that mean? There is the state with Moderna, by the way. Why should she be working with Moderna to do a comprehensive report and analysis of the safety of these vaccines? Wouldn't you consider Moderna's involvement to be just a little conflict of interest? Just a little bit? Potentially? You don't think they got some vested interest in making sure that you don't stop the administration of these viruses? Like, don't they have a vested interest in making sure that this don't go south? Don't they have a vested interest in making sure this isn't a national news story? Because make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, I just told y'all there's not a lot of people talking about this, and this isn't a national news story. 300,000 vaccines. A state epidemiologist, the state epidemiologist, asking for a halt for 300,000 vaccines, has now been overturned by a decision where at least a third of that decision was including Moderna's influence. I feel like that's a conflict of interest. So it says it found no scientific basis to continue the pause. The vaccinations can immediately resume. These findings should continue to give Californians confidence that the vaccines are safe and effective, and that the systems put in place to ensure vaccine safety are rigorous and science-based. They keep saying science, but they're not actually explaining the science that they use to determine the safety of these vaccinations. I don't like that word anymore. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm growing a little distraught with the word science, because usually in my experiences, whenever somebody used the word science, you actually didn't have to say the word science. What you do is you describe the methodology, you describe the factors that are involved, you decide, you look at the conclusions, you talk about hypotheses. You don't actually have to say science over and over and over and over and over again, because usually if you got to tell somebody it's science, it's not really sound science. That's just in my experiences. But I digress. It says about 330,000 doses from the lot had been distributed to nearly 300 providers in California this month, and most halted using it until they received the all clear. Cheryl Brennan of Fallbrook was among those who fell ill shortly after being injected last week at Petco. After 18 minutes, it was like my throat started closing, she told KSWB TV. My blood pressure went to 185 over 125, which I guess is very life-threatening. Help came immediately. They hooked up electrodes, they put ice packs on me. I had 4 EMTs and 2 nurses helping me, and they brought my blood pressure down within 45 minutes. Yeah, what they don't talk about, the fact is that she's about to get a nice fat bill for something that this vaccine costs. And once again, I'm sure Moderna or California isn't going to pay for that. Brennan also said that despite the reaction, she plans to return next month with a second dose. The vaccine requires 2 shots for full immunization. Brennan said, I will absolutely positively go. My opinion is if I get COVID, I would probably have a lot worse reaction than just those issues. And my husband has underlying health conditions, so it's worth taking that chance. I'm just not down with this, man. There was a recommendation happened on the 17th of January to halt those vaccinations because of the adverse reactions. Because the issue isn't just the adverse reactions, it's the fact that you don't know what's causing them. You don't know what's causing them. So they said that 300 or so got distributed, right? 300 providers. There was less than 10, but I'm trying to figure out how many people had taken it at that point. So it said less than 10 people had the adverse reactions, but I imagine not all, obviously, because they keep saying 330,000 are supposed to go out. So all 330,000 weren't taken. So you don't know what's going to happen. And there is a sampling issue. There's not a big enough sample size to know that this is going to be a bigger problem. Now, with only 3 days to consult with Moderna, the state public health department, and the CDC, they've determined these vaccines are now safe? And they just say, it's science. Okay, so can you explain to me what potentially caused the adverse reaction? I want to hear, they had allergies. I want to hear that shit. I want to know. Because that's what science is supposed to take. Science is supposed to take more than 2 days. Once again, the scientific method is supposed to be a period where you get to examine the results over time. Usually, once again, that time is more than 48 hours. So how can you possibly know? And why should I possibly be comfortable with this idea that, they're safe because of science, when you won't even explain the science behind figuring out whether or not the vaccines are safe? Right? Once again, am I crazy for asking this? Am I crazy for asking for consistency here? Am I crazy for asking for just basic, hey, so like just in case, what were the allergies that these particular people may have had, so that I don't accidentally put myself in a scenario where I am putting my life in danger because I have a similar allergy? They're not saying what the situation was. Did this person have a different allergy than this person? Did they all have the same allergy? What scientific process did you go through to figure out these vaccines are safe and that these were one-off incidences based off of X, Y, and Z? There is no information on that. I know because I looked. I've actually waited for a couple of days to figure out if they would come out, because this article actually got sent to me on the 17th. The first article. I went back to see if there were any developments, and this was the article that came up from last night, or last night my time, afternoon in California time. So I've been looking to see what process they were going to use, but all I see is conflict of interest by even allowing Moderna to be involved in the investigative process. And then subsequently, you telling me science is why the vaccines are now safe, even though science, like actual science and data and concrete results, show that there may be some potential problems with that particular strain of the vaccine. So you went out of your way to explain to me what the problem was to justify the halting of vaccine distribution. But whenever it's time to resume the vaccine distribution, just science, there's no data, there's no methodology that you're going to give me, there's nothing. Bro, that's not okay. I don't know how many times I have to say it. It's not normal. It's not normal. It's not science. I don't know what the fuck, I don't know what that is, but it's not science. I'm sure Biswando's got a dope vaccine out, dope video out. I'm probably gonna have to check that out. But I've heard that. I've been hearing that more and more, and I look more into it. But if that's the case, we're gonna have to check it out, man. We're gonna have to stop. We gotta stop playing. We gotta stop pretending like these aren't the same pharmaceutical companies that were demonizing marijuana. The same FDA that was demonizing marijuana. You know, these vaccines aren't supported by the same people like Anthony Fauci, once again, who managed to demonize an entire group of people. And the only cure that he tried to introduce for HIV and AIDS ended up causing blindness and killing somebody. These people have been chronically wrong. Sometimes it's incompetence. A lot of times because they're paid to be wrong. It's willful neglect. So until people start questioning and scrutinizing the methodology of some of these conclusions, we're going to keep seeing the same problems. You're going to put yourself in danger, put your life in danger, put your family's life in danger. Like, I'm not anti-vaccine necessarily. I generally, if there's I'm anti anything U.S. medicine. I would prefer to engage in holistic healing for everybody. Herb, natural. I understand not everybody can, that sometimes you got to take something a little bit stronger, hit a little bit harder. I get that. It's fine. But I'm saying if you can't help it, I always encourage herbal, natural, holistic treatments. But I am, however, against situations like this where a vaccine is thrusted upon somebody. Little research under shaky circumstances where every time someone blows a whistle on something, they're forced to change their mind the next day after media backlash, and there's no accountability for the failures that we've already seen. None. Once again, These people told us we couldn't take it, hydroxychloroquine and zinc. That turned out to be a lie. CNN had to print a retraction. Not only that, but the Lancet, one of the most prominent medical journals in the world, had to print a retraction over hydroxychloroquine and zinc. You have countries like Cuba that defeated COVID because they took the necessary steps, and they use scientifically proven medicine that has that we've seen the side effects of over time, 40, 50 years, in the case of interferon alpha 2b. So like, they've gone through the scientific method. That's how they know it was a successful solution, or it would be a successful solution, and that solution was a success. So all these, like, there's no accountability for the failures of our government in this regard. And not only that, but then we keep going to those same failed officials and using them to determine whether or not something is safe, and basing it on nothing but their word. Because once again, there's no scientific method provided as to why they deemed it to be safe in just 3 days after halting it. When they decided to halt it, they gave us multiple reasons, very solid logic as to why it would be best to halt the vaccine distribution until they can confirm that it was safe to do, safe to start distributing again. So my 2 cents. I would love to know what you all think about this. Sorry about some of the stream issues that we had.